Good evening. Welcome to our first public hearing for the fiscal year 2027 budget. So at this time, we're going to ask our Finance Director, Melissa, to come up and present the FY27 budget.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners, and everyone here. In regards to the fiscal year 2027 budget proposal, which will become effective on July 1st of 2026 and carry us through June the 30th of 2027. I always like to start out with the county's mission statement as we keep this in mind as we prepare the budget. Looking to provide quality services to Oconee County citizens in a fiscally responsible manner, promoting the health, safety, and welfare for Oconee County. And the strategic goals of the county remain the same: smart government, growth and infrastructure, and quality of life. And my goal tonight is to demonstrate how we're meeting these goals through the FY27 budget. So general fund proposed budget is at $49,004,700. And the general fund is the operating fund for Oconee County. In comparison for you, compared to last year's original budget, it's increasing $3.3 million, which is just over a 7% increase. Our budget is balanced, indicating that the revenues we bring in equal the expenditures that we plan to spend. So that's an increase in revenue of 3.3 as well as expenditures in 3.3 million. So we'll take a look at both revenues and expenditures in detail. Here we have the general fund proposed revenues listed on the right-hand side by sources of revenue. It's a comparison of our FY26 amended budget to our FY27 proposal. And on the left-hand side, chart illustrating each of those categories and what percentage they make up of the total proposed budget for the general fund. So you can see that property taxes are our largest source of revenue, budgeted at 41% of our general fund budget at $20.1 million, followed by our local option sales taxes coming at 25%, charges for services at 13.6%, and other taxes at just over 10%, and all of the other categories listed being less than 10% components. Property taxes at $20.1 million as a minimum increase over prior year, just at 2%. This increase is related to our title ad valorem tax, which is a total budget of $3.6 million proposed in FY27. It's an increase of $400,000. With our local option sales tax also reflecting an increase of 3.6%, we are still continuing to see increases each month over prior year collections. Charges for services has the largest increase of 1.2 million, and that is related to the EMS department coming into the FY27 budget. EMS had previously referred to our first responder program. We have renamed that to the EMR department. So if you see references in the presentation to EMR, that is previously known as EMS. And the new EMS department is for our medical services, which contains the ambulance services. So charges for services does include ambulance fee revenues, budgeted at 1.5 million. Okay, and other taxes at 4.9, not much of a change there. That line item does include our insurance premium taxes. Is see an increase in grants. This line item is majority comprised of our LMIG funding from the state of Georgia. The last 3 years, we've also received LRA funding, which is a component of LMIG. Instead of coming back to you and asking for a budget amendment to budget for those funds, we've included them in the FY27 budget, and you'll see an offsetting expenditure for that for paving as well. Investment income is down slightly, and that is reflective of the current interest rate environment that we are in and expect that to continue. And then the following items, licenses and permits, fines and forfeitures, rents and fees and transfers for sale, change just slightly. General fund expenditures reflect how those revenues will be spent. It's kind of the same format in the slide here, with law enforcement, jail, and E911 making up 30.9% of general fund expenditures in FY27, followed by administration and operations at 14.9%, public safety at 11.2%, Public Works at 10.6, and then all the line items that follow individually make up less than 10%. Just kind of as a whole, towards the budget, I'll speak to say that you'll notice decreases in a lot of the departments. That's kind of abnormal for the budget presentations, even with just the cost of living increases that we see throughout our operations. We have worked to bring line items down so that we can incorporate the EMS fund department into the budget without having large increases on our revenue side through taxpayer dollars. So we know that we've planned for local option sales tax increases and some other line items mentioned. We are also reducing some of our expenses. So we've looked at line items such as professional services, general supplies, and kind of reallocated those, make sure that we are budgeting for what's actually being spent and what the needs are. We've reduced some funds that we would typically reserve for capital projects. If fund positions are vacant, we have unfunded some of those for the FY27 budget. And we've considered all of our requests to appropriate funds for specific items and whether those items would be needed in the fiscal year. So I would like to go through and let you know what is included in some of these budget line items. Some of these are generally included. I'd just like to remind you of what's in there. And then some of these are new requests. So under law enforcement, jail, and E911, that does include our school resource officer budget. We're continuing our phase replacement program of their small equipment, budgeted at $61,000. That is an annual thing that we do, and I'll say phase replacement or life cycle management a lot through the presentation. We try to rotate equipment and capital items on a regular basis so that we don't get to a point where we need to buy 15 or 20 of everything at the same time. Try to live off the budget over the years. It also includes 4 equipped vehicles for the sheriff's office school resource officer program at $280,000. Continues the computer lifecycle management, includes painting for the jail's phase replacement program, an increase in small equipment for our patrol office of a total budget of $93,000. The patrol phase replacement, $109,000, also included. Administration and operations, this decrease that you see here is largely due to removing the $500,000 in FY26. That was a result of debt service savings. We use that towards capital reserves, but we've pulled that reserve out of the FY27 budget. We have increased IT funding for security needs. And we have maintained our life cycle management program for IT computer replacements and increased that slightly to $80,000, as well as our network equipment program as well, budgeted at $80,000. We've provided software for our communications department related to publishing, social media management, and ADA compliance requirements. We are still operations in this category reserving $70,000 towards building needs. That could be something that emerges during the fiscal year, or it could be reserved and compiled with future fiscal year funding. And our vehicle lifecycle management is budgeted at $260,000, which includes 6 vehicle replacements for countywide vehicles. The public safety, budgeted at $5.5 million, includes our EMS department budgeted at $3.1 million. With offsetting revenues of 1.5, the goal is our net cost for the program in FY27 be 1.6 million. Also included in public safety is our fire department, EMR, animal services, and EMA budgets. Included in those items is furniture, fixtures, and equipment needs for buildings, specifically fire stations, of $20,000, and some equipment for the building of animal services as well, minimal amount of $6,000. Public Works budgeted at $5.2 million. That does include the increase to paving related to the LRA grant. Should that grant not be received, then we would not spend those funds from the Public Works budget. Parks and Recreation budget includes a cable barrier at Herman C. Michael Park along Hog Mountain. $80,000, as well as an equipment allowance for park facilities of $50,000. Economic Development, Civic Center and Tourism at 2.7 million. 2.1 million of that is bond payment service for our Caterpillar bond and Costco bond. Intergovernmental programs, not much of a budget change in that category. That's providing funding to our county extension program, health department, library, senior centers, and other entities within Oconee County. In our planning department, we've included $150,000 for our 10-year comp plan that is coming for renewal. In all the categories listed below that, courts, clerk of courts, property appraisal, tax commissioner, probate, board of elections, and the coroner's office. Those are operational changes, not significantly decreasing or increasing. So this view is looking at this by departments. We can also look at this on how the funds are being spent within the departments as a whole. Personnel and employee benefits comprise 57% of the general fund budget. It's an increase of $2.5 million over prior year. $1.9 million of that is related to the new departmental EMS personnel and benefits, and the remainder of the benefit increase is related to our benefits. We don't have any new positions added throughout the county other than the EMS employees to start up that department. We do have some transfers between departments, but that doesn't change our overall full-time equivalent. Operations and maintenance makes up 26.8% of the general fund. Of that increase that you see, $763,000, $261,000 is EMS operations. $943,000 is an increase to the paving program, and $150,000 is the comp plan mentioned. We'll look at capital outlays in more detail on the next slide. Allocations to other agencies is 2.5% funding, and then the debt service is 4.4%. And support to other funds is decreasing. That's also related to the capital reserve that we have removed from the budget related to the debt savings. So proposed capital is already mentioned, probably all of these. The IT network equipment at $80,000, school resource officer vehicles at $280,000, fleet maintenance vehicles, those are the county operational vehicles at $260,000, the cable barrier at $80,000, and equipment for park facilities at $50,000. Okay. So that's the general fund operating. We can now look at the total proposed budget, which does include the general fund, also our SPLOST, T-SPLOST, capital funds, special revenues, and enterprise funds. Total budget of $85,493,242, which is an increase of just over 2% to the original budget of FY26. So we have the same format for total budget. I'll go through and just kind of highlight the additional items that are outside of the general fund. We now have our water and sewer, which is an enterprise fund, shown at $16.3 million, which is 19.4% of the total budget. We have the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, also known as T-SPLOST, budgeted at $10.9 million, 12.9% of the budget. We also have our Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, also known as SPLOST, budgeted at $5.1 million. T-SPLOST and SPLOST are both budgeted to be a balanced budget. So the revenues, while we may anticipate additional collections, are budgeted at what we plan to spend as of the point of budget adoption. And E911 revenues of $960,000 also included. And for expenses, in law enforcement, jail, and E911 now includes our SPLOST vehicles for patrol at $530,000 and E911 operations at just over $2.4 million included in law enforcement, jail, and E911. Water resources budget at 16.9. We'll look at that one in a little bit more detail. Administration and operations, which includes not only the commission and administration, but finance, fleet, IT, GIS. does include $3.8 million related to SPOST and T-SPOST. These are the intergovernmental payments to our municipalities after we've received those revenues, as well as the administrative building debt service, which is paid through SPOST and budgeted at just over $1 million in FY27. Public safety includes fire vehicles being purchased from SPOST. That's 3 tanker trucks at $720,000. Parks and Recreation has SPOST funded debt as well for our Veterans Park bond at $744,000. Economic Development, Civic Center, and Tourism now includes the hotel sales tax, which is a special revenue fund, and our Civic Center, which is one of the other enterprise funds. Hotel sales tax is $866,000, and Civic Center is $866,000. And lastly, our sanitation budget of 1.1 is our third enterprise fund included in the total budget. Okay, looking at capital, in addition to general fund included in the total budget, these are our traditional reserve budget items that we place in the capital fund each year for county facilities, jail equipment, and public safety. We don't have any additional projects that we are requesting to budget for at this time. SPOS 2021, the first 2 items represent our debt service obligations, law enforcement vehicles at $530,000, the 3 tanker trucks for fire at $720,000. Operations of $65,000 does include paving of the parking lot at the Bogart Library, and then our distributions to municipalities. And our T-SPOST fund has $6 million planned for paving, just over $3 million for related transportation services, infrastructure placeholder of $100,000 that would cover design services should we need that to start up an additional project. Anything beyond design services for construction would be presented to the board at that time for consideration and approval and budget amendment, as well as our municipality distributions. Both our SPOST and T-SPOST funds do collect through the entire period of FY27. And our enterprise fund, water resources, because it is the largest enterprise fund and a large component of the total budget. Budgeted at $16.9 million, a 2.5% increase over prior year. So here you have the revenue sources on the left side. It's comprised of both wastewater and water, and the expenses by classification on the right-hand side. Revenues of $16.3. It's an increase of $250,000 over the original budget. The FY26 amended budget contains some other project-related revenue sources. We are increasing capacity fee budgets and availability fee budgets. The increase makes up $300,000. And of note, we're doing the same thing here on interest revenues and decreasing that budget line item from $450,000 to $350,000 due to the interest rate environment. And expense classifications, you can see the personnel reflects a decrease. That decrease is related to changes in benefit costs for the enterprise fund. Operations and maintenance in FY26 does include some projects that we do not have included in FY27. We do have some specific plans in FY27 for specific pump stations and wells and repair needs. Capital outlay includes 2 vehicle replacements, a locating device, and $150,000 for right-of-ways and easements, similar to T-SPOST. Should those funds be needed before the projects come to the board, they're included in the budget and available to the department without a budget amendment. And of course, our debt service and payments to other agencies. So that kind of covers all of the details of what's included. So executing our strategic goals, we have kind of 4 bullet points here of things that we focus on: public safety, transportation improvements, our infrastructure plan, and our fleet replacement program. So commitment to public safety, making up 49% of the general fund budget. When you look at all the categories that you see on the chart on the right does represent the total budget. So the total budget makes up $26.9 million within that chart. So the blue indicates the operations of the various departments, and then the capital items are in the lighter shade of blue. Our capital purchases of $810,000 within law enforcement do include our vehicle purchases, and the capital purchase and fire is related to the 3 tanker trucks. Of note here, this is looking at total budget, so it's not only taxpayer dollars. We do have municipalities. Of course, the school resource officer program is reimbursed back to us at 90% from the Board of Education, grant funds, and even citizen donations that make all of these public safety commitments possible. And specifically to the EMS department, since it is new, we have a comparison for you of FY26 funding and proposed FY27. So again, here we see the charges for services, which is the revenue line of 1.5, the planned personnel cost, operational cost, and payments to agencies cost for total expenditures of 3.1, with the net cost of the county at 1.6. A transportation improvement plan. We like to look at how much are we paving. So in FY27, we're allocating $7.8 million towards paving in Oconee County, and the total budget represented in the chart to the right is $13.7 million related to transportation. Of that paving, the general fund is budgeting for $1.8 million, and that's from grant funding, and T-Splost at $6 million, which is from the 1% sales tax. Water and sewer infrastructure. The blue represents operations, which I think is probably all you can see. There is a sliver of infrastructure and capital. Generally, you see more of that here. The reason that you don't is that so many of their projects are already in process, and they've been approved as budget amendments for the life of the project. So when we roll into the next fiscal year, we already have amendment authority to take the balance of that project and move it into FY27. So should there be a new emerging project for the Water Resources Department, it would be presented to you for your consideration prior to moving forward and for budget amendment. I do like to list all of the projects that are in process so that you can have a appreciation for all the infrastructure that is occurring. So we have the Daniels Bridge Lift Station expansion, Rockies Branch Force Main and Lift Station, the transmission line for Calls Creek, the Epps Bridge Lift Station expansion, the Veterans Park Lift Station expansion, the Epps Bridge collection line, the 441 collection line or collector line, as well as our contributions into the expansions for Bear Creek Plant and Hard Labor Creek's expansion. Our fleet replacement program, we have funding for law enforcement, fire, fleet, and water resources. I think that we have already discussed all of those. You can see on the chart to the right the different funding sources that participate in that program. For law enforcement, that's going to be the general fund and SPLOST. Fire is fully funded by SPLOST, the fleet by general fund, and water resources by the enterprise fund. And enterprise fund meaning that those things are funded by ratepayers as opposed to taxpayers. So we do have an additional public hearing scheduled for May the 19th. It will be the same presentation and information unless something changes, and I'll highlight those changes for you. And then the planned budget adoption is at the June 2nd commissioners meeting. We'll post the presentation on our website along with a one-page budget summary that will also be placed on the bulletin board outside the front doors here at the Watkinsville Library and Bogart Library. Our fee schedule will also be posted online. I do want to highlight a few of the fee schedule changes, but that full list of changes will be highlighted on the online posting and in the packages that you have. Within sanitation, they'd like to increase the minimum fee from $12 to $20. The Civic Center has added additional rental blocks, updated fees for event cleaning services to more align with actual costs, and removing ancillary charges that will now just be included in rentals without the fee. Parks and Recreation has some incremental changes throughout their program fees. The water resources rates, water rates are increasing 3.5%, which is same as last year. And sewer rates at 4.75, which is less of a rate than increase than prior year. They've also updated the availability fees and capacity fees. So I'd like to thank you all for attending the public hearing, and to our budget officer and all of her hard work, and finance, and really all of the departments who put so much into the budget and their requests. So I'm happy to hear any comments or take any questions that you may have.
Does any commissioners have any questions? All right, thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment on the FY27 budget? Here none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll move into our regular meeting this time. We're going to ask you to stand for a moment of silence, and we're going to ask Justin Kerouac, our county administrator, to lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business will be to approve the agenda. We do have one change to the consent agenda. I inadvertently left off the consent agenda item for approval of the tennis court bids. So if we could.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we add to the consent agenda the award of the tennis court contract at OVP.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda with the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is statements, remarks from citizens. This is for anything not on tonight's agenda. Okay. Any statements or remarks from commissioners? I do want to remind everybody the Georgia EPD summer burn ban is in effect from May 1st till September 30th. This has been in effect since 2005 for this amount of time not burning. You can go to our website for more details. Also, we have some citizen committees that have openings on them. We have 3 animal services, 5 on Keep Oconee County Beautiful Commission, 1 on Family and Children's Services, 2 on the Library Board, 3 on Tourism Visitors Bureau, and the deadline for that is May 15th at noon for application. Also, as you know, early voting is going on. That will continue through this week. They also have Saturday from 9 to 5, and then the following week, Monday through Friday. With that, we'll move to approval of the agenda for April 7th and April 28th.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes submitted for April 7th and April 28th as submitted.
Second. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is moving to our hearing and actions on zoning matters. During our rezone petitions will be presented by the county staff with no limit. The applicant and those signed up to speak for the petition shall be allowed a total of 20 minutes, unless the applicants reserve time for rebuttal. Those signing up to speak against the petition shall also have 20 minutes. The public comment section will then be closed, and the board will ask questions as they find appropriate, and then the board shall take action as set out in the Unified Development Code. With that, we'll call special use 26-0025. This is Grace Baptist Church of Watkinsville, Georgia, Incorporated, and it's modifying the conditions of existing special use approval 5459 for a community scale church and add an adjacent property to the existing special use permit. This is 18.07 acres at 6401 Hog Mountain Road and 6441 Hog Mountain Road. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is special use P26-0025, Grace Baptist Church, applicant and owner. This is parcel A02029B and A02027A. Currently zoned AG in the suburban neighborhood character area. And again, the request is to modify the conditions of existing special use permit 5459 for a community scale church and add an adjacent property to the special use permit. This is a recorded plat in your application packet. Second one, the concept plan showing the additional acreage and parking for the existing parcel and church. These are architectural images submitted with the application. And staff recommends conditional approval with our 3 standard conditions. Number 4, the owner shall submit for review and recording with the clerk of court a recombination plat to combine 6401 and 6441 Hog Mountain Road into one property prior to submission of a site development plan. Number 5, the owner shall apply for a building permit for the Family Life Center Worship Center building started in 2008, which did not receive a certificate of occupancy and final inspection. The building permit number 52923 issued August 26, 2008 has expired, and the structure will have to comply with all current building and fire codes to be occupied. Number 6, the proposed Family Life Center Worship Center building started in 2008 shall comply with all current architectural standards in the current Unified Development Code. The Planning Commission recommended approval with the same conditions. Thank you.
Speaking for will be Luke Morton.
Good afternoon. My name is Luke Morton. I work with Precision Planning Incorporated, and I represent my client, Bethlehem First Baptist Church, as part of the transition between the 2 properties. And so my applicant is requesting that a special use permit allowed the continued operation of a church campus located at 6401 Hog Mountain Road, which is parcel A02-029B, and the incorporation of the adjacent residential parcel located at 6441 Hog Mountain Road, which is parcel A02-027A. The existing parcel, A02-029B, is currently owned and operated by Grace Baptist Church and is in plans to be acquired by Bethlehem First Baptist Church as part of the transition of the properties between the church organizations. The proposed request does not represent the introduction of a new land use to the area, as the property has already historically operated as a place of worship for years. And as part of this transition, the applicant intends to purchase and combine the adjacent residential parcel 6441 Hog Mountain Road into the overall church campus to support church-related uses and its expansion. This request will allow the combined properties to function cohesively as a place of worship. And for the conditions, condition 1, there are no issues. And for condition 2, this doesn't apply since the site already has existing water service and on-site septic. And for condition 3, this condition does not apply as the property does not have county right-of-way, only state. Condition 4, the survey is complete and will be submitted once the properties are required. And for conditions 5 and 6, the Family Life Center was built without a permit, but the equipped architectural company has assessed and verified what improvements will be required for the building to meet the current code and the anticipated costs. And I'll take any questions if anyone has any.
Man, a minute. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak for the special use? Speaking against will be Joseph Kickley.
How are y'all tonight? My name is Joseph Kickley. I live at 6461 Hog Mountain Road, the resident most directly impacted by this proposed rezoning. I would like to share some points that Bethlehem Church spokesman said during the planning meeting, and he just said it again right now, that were false. He stated that the church was in the process of purchasing the adjacent residential property after approval from the county, when in fact the property has already been purchased by Bethlehem Church over a month ago, before the planning department meeting. Also, I would like to note that the staff report is incorrect, stating that no traffic study is required because it's less than 1,000 daily trips. The UDC requires a traffic study at 500 daily trips, which this meets. A traffic study should have been required before submittal of a special use application. I built our house in 2017 with the knowledge of a small church was 2 parcels away. Now the proposed church is next door in the front yard of a residential property with a mega church with over 550 parking spaces, most of which are in the front yard of a residential property. The 25-foot buffer that's proposed isn't even doable because the property line is in the middle of the dirt road for both my property and the residential property in question. If allowed, then this buffer should be much more substantial to actually create a buffer. Also, there is nothing in the report that says what the house will be used for. Just states that it will remain residential. For what? I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I recognize that this decision may already be largely settled. It is difficult to imagine a church would invest $680,000 to a small residential parcel property over a month ago without a clear expectation of approval. That said, we are asking for two specific considerations to help protect the safety and the livability of our property and the surrounding homes. First, we request that a berm of evergreens be placed down the entirety of Goat Farm Road. Second, we strongly ask that no access be granted from the property onto Goat Farm Road, which is a dirt road. This road is currently a dirt road and serves as a private easement for only 3 homes, soon to be 2 if this is approved. We also note that all these proposals seeks to retain the existing house as a residential structure despite it being surrounded by a parking lot. We ask that access to this house be required from Hog Mountain Road rather than the private easement. Without this restriction, it is reasonably to expect traffic, especially from youth groups and other church-related activities, which would significantly impact what is currently a quiet dirt road. Additionally, it is concerning that Bethlehem Church is proposing to relocate to Grace Baptist Church despite not even currently operating at the site. While I may not necessarily agree, I could better understand this request if it were coming from the existing Grace Baptist Church seeking to expand. Instead, this proposal introduces a large, well-funded organization into a small residential area, which raises concerns about compatibility and long-term impact. This is not simply a church in the traditional sense, but a substantial operation that will inevitably alter the character of the neighborhood and potentially affect surrounding property values. All of the adjacent properties consist of small residential ag properties. This is not a rural setting as what's being presented in the package that they presented. Over the years, many residents have opposed commercial development even on already commercially zoned land, which is crazy to me. This situation is fundamentally different. It involves rezoning residential land for a much more intensive use. Decisions like this can gradually erode the character of a community. From a safety standpoint, our property is already in a challenging position. Within less than 200 feet, there is an acceleration lane to the left of our property, a turn lane directly in front of our property, requiring us to begin our turn into our driveway midway into the lane, and now a proposed deceleration lane to the right of our property, adding a high traffic use nearby, only increasing the risk. In addition, the proximity of a large illuminated parking lot approximately 100 feet from our home will have significant impact on our quality of life. Finally, I would like to remiss not to mention the unusual, and this is the most important part, the unusual circumstances surrounding the property's sale. The house was under contract for over 5 months, which is highly uncommon. The seller was just up here speaking as the director of finance for Oconee County and works closely with every party involved in the approval process, including all of you. While I am not making any accusations, the appearance of this situation raises concerns that are difficult to ignore. And then finally, lastly, I would just like to ask, John Daniels, have you ever spoke to the seller or the church or engineer involved in this project about the project before the special use permit was applied for that we, the public, should be aware of? Thank you for your time and consideration. I sincerely hope you will take these requests into account as you make your decision. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak against? Mr. Morton, you have an opportunity for a rebuttal. Luke Morton? No, no. With that, we'll go ahead and close public comments and open up to any questions from commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I've got just a couple of questions, I think. Joseph, help me, did you make your comments to the planning commission? I understand. And I don't recall receiving any communication from you about your concerns. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm not just being honest. I keep private. I run a successful business in this community
Okay,
and I don't just get involved with government.
okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure because this is the first I've heard of your concerns. And I just wanted to make sure that you had ample opportunity prior to tonight's meeting to. Okay, that's right. I just want to make sure because normally when a room is full like this, we know about it ahead of time when there's an objection. So I apologize. I was not aware that you had any objections to this tonight. So I'm sorry about that.
I've got something. What were you talking about? And I may have missed it, but it was almost like you weren't making an accusation, but you said something. So what was it?
Yeah, come on back up front. Come on back up front, Joseph.
Well, I thought you said something and then you said, well, you weren't making an accusation. So I'm just curious. I missed that.
Yeah, I just said that the property that was sold, the residential property that was sold, is the director of finance for Oconee County. It was under contract for over 5 months. Anybody who sold a house, it's hard to find someone who's going to stay under contract for over 5 months. And so the appearance, I'm not accusing anyone. Like I said in my statement, I'm not making any accusations, but the appearance of the situation raises concerns that are difficult to ignore.
But are you accusing us of something?
I'll repeat what I said.
No, you don't have to repeat it. I'm
not making
cutting
it-
to the chase. Are you
I
accusing us of
I
something?
thought I was pretty direct.
Well, then I'll take it that you accused us.
Yeah.
No, I'm not making any accusations.
But you can't have it both ways. Either you accused us of some impropriety or you didn't.
I didn't accuse you guys of anything.
Okay, well, I'm through. That's fine. That's fine.
You can have a seat.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if it's appropriate or not. I mean, this is kind of, was not aware of it beforehand. I don't know if it's appropriate for us to postpone this to give the commission a chance to maybe look at this a little closer with Joseph's concerns. That's just something I want to throw out there for us to consider.
That's up to the board whether they want to postpone or not. So that would just be up to the commission as a whole to postpone it.
Yeah, I'm just accustomed. I'm just speaking to everybody, not to Joseph, but everybody. I'm accustomed if there's somebody got a concern about something, I hear about it before I show up at a commissioners meeting at 6 o'clock. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage here not to be able to understand exactly what his concerns are, and I don't want to make a vote if he's got valid concerns or things that we can do. So that's just the reason where I'm coming.
I think his
from that.
concern is that because we have an employee that's involved in the transaction,
I'm not gonna go there. I'm talking about.
You can sit down. You've had your time. Sit down. Sit down and be quiet.
Mr.
That's
Chairman,
enough.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to address that. That's not appropriate, but I'm concerned about, the request for a buffer. I'm concerned about the request for a berm. I'm concerned about, the distances, if Farm Road is in fact dirt road, is it going to have additional traffic? He brought up a good concern about that. Maybe
Guy, can you speak to some of
I
those?
can speak to the traffic study.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The concept plan shows no access to Old Goat Farm Road, the drive there, which is, I believe, one of the complainants issues. So no access could be allowed on the dirt road, the Old Goat Farm dirt
Now, the
road,
residents that's been there, what was their access?
Old Goat Farm Road.
So there's going to be like a 1 foot, no
No access.
access easement
Yes, that's
that
correct.
will stay there in perpetuity?
That's right. Because the concept plan shows that there's no access there. So we're not going to allow access on there. And the church is fine with that, and they understand that. All access will be internal, and it will be from State Route 53.
What about the request for a berm with the
That certainly can be something that's added if the board sees fit.
Okay, I haven't looked at it from that standpoint. What about the fact that the buffer, he said that it's, I guess it's like the old days where the property line went to the middle of the dirt road.
That's right, yeah, but the 25-foot buffer would still have to be along that frontage. It would not be in the middle of the road, but it would still be along that frontage. So the buffer would be required and would be in place. And the
All right.
church is aware of that, so.
So does his property line still run to the middle of Goat
It
Farm Road?
does, yes, sir. All those do, down through there, yes, sir.
So it's a private road?
It is I believe it's a county maintained dirt road, or was at the time, but it has been,
It's
deleted for, I think,
prescriptive easement through,
Sorry.
prescriptive easement, so the
Prescriptive
property lines go to the center. But my understanding is the dirt road's gonna stay in place, so it'll have whatever the length of the width of the road is plus 25 feet from there. So it will be more than 25 feet distance wise.
So the current road's a prescriptive easement, but the buffer will still have to be placed along that use. And so it doesn't have to go to the center of the road. It can be placed on, adjacent to it. But
Well, I
that buffer could be enhanced if that's something that the board wants to approve, but that would be up to you.
Kind of like to look at that before I get to the meeting, though. Unfortunately, I'm not prepared. So, I mean, good point.
Like you said, there's been more than one opportunity for that to be addressed. So
I understand, but there's telephone, there's emails, there's snail mail. They can come knock on my door. I want to know if there's a concern, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage, but that's just me.
any other questions from any of the commissioner?
The only thing I would say is, I don't know anything about the sale. Period. Didn't know who owned it. So it certainly didn't have anything to do with what happens with business partners or anything else. Just so we make sure we're clear on that.
Mr. Chairman, if we turn this down, what's the church's options? Do they have to wait a year, 2 years before coming back, or what's the option on that?
1 year?
Hmm?
1 year.
1 year.
delay.
So it'd be better for them. I'm not saying that we're going to turn it down. I'm just asking for my education. If we postpone it, we can do that for 30 days.
Yes,
But if we turn it down, they have to wait a year.
that's correct.
Okay.
Any que-
Can the applicant withdraw? If they do that, can they come back next month? The applicant, not, I'm just asking.
Suppose.
Okay,
We'd have to vote to take the withdrawal, and then they start the process over.
okay.
So it could take 60 days to go back through the planning commission and all that.
So postponement might be better than a withdrawal.
Yeah, if you want to give them, if you want 30 days to
I do.
study, then that's the best route.
Okay, thank you.
So the size of the sanctuary is going to stay the same. I think it's showed 650. And then the house will be used as a youth center, is what it said on the packet.
You're done talking. I think we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve special use P 26-0025 Grace Baptist Church of Watkinsville, Georgia Incorporated, modify the conditions of an existing special use approval number 5459 for a community scale church and add an adjacent property to the existing special use permit, 18.07 acres, 6401 Hog Mountain Road and 6441 Hog Mountain Road Commercial with 6 conditions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve special use P 26-0025 with 6 conditions. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I will abstain.
Motion carries. Our next item is a rezone request P 26-0044 Cynthia Bodie. This is a rezone from AG to AR. It's 5.4 acres, Plantation Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, again, this is rezone P 26-0044 Cynthia Bodie, applicant and owner. This is parcel B 03006BA, currently zoned AG in the suburban neighborhood character area. Again, the request is rezone 5.4 acres from AG to AR. This is a recorded plat in your application. Concept plan showing the 2 proposed lots. Architectural images submitted with the application. Staff recommends conditional approval with our 3 standard conditions. Number 4, to remove the restriction of approved variance 5601 that limits the property to no more lots as shown than is shown on the 2007 concept plan. Plantation Drive shall be improved to current county standards up to the second lot allowed by the variance being parcel B 03006B. This shall include dedication of required right-of-way and expansion to 60-foot wide at the owner's expense. The additional right-of-way may need to be dedicated from the owner's parcel B 03005B to achieve the 60-foot wide right-of-way width as determined by the Director of Public Works. Planning Commission recommends approval with the same conditions. Thank you.
Daniel Bodie.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Daniel Bodie. I grew up in Oconee, class of '04, commissioned from the University of Georgia in 2009. This month marks my 20th year in the Army, so I am looking to relocate my family back to where I grew up and build on family land across from my mother. So that is, I appreciate your time and all the staff's work that they put into us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Cynthia Bodie.
I'm Cynthia Bodie. I'd just be repeating everything he said. I want him to live there. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak for the rezone?
My name is Chuck Neely. I've been in Oconee County my whole life, and Danny's going to be my neighbor. And we're looking forward to having him back home after being in Atlanta for Lord knows how long. But thank God he's coming back. So thanks.
Anyone else to speak for? Does anyone wish to speak against? All right, with that, we'll close public comments. Any questions from commissioners? We'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve rezone P 26-0044 Cynthia Bodie, rezone from AG to AR, 5.4 acres, Plantation Drive, vacant with its 4 conditions.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve rezone request P 26-0044 with 4 conditions. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is a variance request P 25-0269. This is Joshua and Emily Ann Sweat. This is allowing accessory building to exceed 1,000 square feet in the R1 zoning district, 0.71 acres at 2300 Stone Road, residential.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is variance P 25-0269, Joshua Sweat, applicant owner. This is parcel B 06T008, currently zoned R1, suburban neighborhood character area. And again, the request is applicant requesting a variance from UDC section 34702A to allow a proposed 1,180 square feet accessory building to exceed the 1,000 square feet of gross floor area in a residential zoning district on a lot less than 3 acres in size. This is the concept plan showing the location of the proposed structure at the end of the driveway. These are the architectural renderings, and staff recommends conditional approval with our 1 standard condition. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from the owner or the agent of the owner.
I don't have any direct comments or
Okay.
anything. We're just hoping to build an extra garage outside of our house and everything, and realize we are exceeding the square footage by a little bit. So hoping we can get it approved and get it going. Thanks.
Anyone else wish to speak for the variance? Anyone wish to speak against? With that, we'll close public comments. Any questions from commissioners?
I've got one.
Yes, sir.
Guy, did you receive any public comments?
No, sir, we did not.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sweat? You okay with the homeowners association?
Yes.
Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
The only other question that, just looking at the packet, it looks like that the septic has been evaluated. Okay.
No additional questions. We'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve variance P 25-0269 as presented.
A motion second to approve variance request P 25-0269 with one condition. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is to ratify the EMS director. As you know, directors are ratified by the board after hiring. Jaron Queen has been selected for the EMS director. He has over 20 years public safety experience. He's a Georgia certified paramedic with a critical care medic endorsement, as well as a certified flight paramedic. He comes to us as a clinical, latest job as a clinical base lead and flight paramedic. He's also a member of Oconee County Fire Rescue. As you remember, we had 4 applicants for this position. We interviewed 3 of the applicants. Each board member was given an opportunity to sit down and meet with Jaron. And he's already here and hitting the ground running, so we're just looking for your ratification.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to ratify the EMS director, Jared Queen.
Second.
We have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is discussion on the South Watkinsville bypass project. We received some public comment at our last meeting, as well as we've all received comments since the maps have been released. We spent some time drafting a resolution, and we're going to ask Commissioner Harden to read that resolution at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Y'all bear with, I think copies were in the back, so if you want to follow along, that's fine. If I missed something, no need to point it out. A resolution of the Oconee County Board of Commissioners to request additional study and consideration for the Watkinsville bypass project. Whereas the city of Watkinsville contains several challenging intersections along the State Route 15 corridor, and whereas a significant amount of traffic traversing Oconee County from the south, including large truck traffic, utilizes State Route 15 to reach US Route 441. And whereas the city of Watkinsville has expressed a desire to create a bypass to route truck traffic from State Route 15 to US Route 441 south of Watkinsville. Whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation has identified the Watkinsville bypass as a project with design funding, and whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation has identified 3 potential locations of a bypass, and whereas Oconee County prides itself on its agricultural and rural land uses as indicated by the unchanged designation as such in the Oconee County Comprehensive Plan, and whereas an east-west connected bypass could require significant land acquisition and potential displacement of certain residential, agricultural, and/or rural properties, whereas Oconee County has preserved close to 1,000 acres of working farmland through permanent easement acquisition in the rural portions of Oconee County through specialized funds as parts of the Farmland Preservation Program. Whereas the Oconee County Board of Commissioners are charged and committed with upholding the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens and environment of Oconee County, and whereas Oconee County Board of Commissioners seek the best possible transportation decision that balance the needs of existing residents, properties, and environments with the infrastructure demands of the traveling public, which will require additional time and data. Whereas the Georgia Department of Transportation held a public information open house on April the 16th, 2026, which produced a robust number of comments and concerns from residents and stakeholders, especially regarding the desire to preserve rural and agricultural uses and character in this area. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Oconee County Board of Commissioners, request that the Georgia Department of Transportation consider the following before proceeding with any decision regarding establishing a route location. Number one, perform a small area study of State Route 15 corridor inside the city limits of Watkinsville to examine the affected intersection, especially the Barnett Shoals, South Main Street, Hardin Hill Road, Simonton Bridge Road, and determine if intersection improvements, signal timing, small diverter connector roads, expansions of existing roads such as the Industrial Boulevard, or other operational improvements could be made to reduce traffic congestion and improve vehicular circulation. Number two, perform a study on the local impacts of the inland port in Gainesville, Georgia, which had a soft opening on May the 4th, 2026. Number three, assess any Watkinsville bypass solution in conjunction with a potential US 441 Bishop bypass to ensure the solutions are complementary and coordinated. Number four, assess a potential bypass location inside the city limits south of McCree Street that would allow minimal additional asphalt construction. Five, the Oconee County Board of Commissioners oppose any route that will result in a displacement of farmland protected by the Oconee County Farmland Preservation Program. Be it further resolved that the Oconee County Board of Commissioners wishes to have a meaningful and productive dialogue with the Georgia Department of Transportation on this project so that the interests of the citizens of Oconee County can be considered for this impactful project. Considered this 5th day of May, 2026.
Any questions or comments from commissioners? No. We'll open up to any public comment related to the resolution at this time. If you want to make a comment, you just come up, state your name and address.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name's Alan Bell. I'm Mary and Lamar Bell's grandson. I've been at 1411 Colin Ferry Road in Watkinsville, Georgia, my entire life, 40 years going on now. And my family themselves awarded Conservation Family of the Year in 1973. Unfortunately, sorry. So with all the information that's come to light for Watkinsville, its plans and the actual GDOT numbers, option 4 is the correct choice at this time. The GDOT should return to the drawing board and conduct proper due diligence. Routes should not be drawn across people's homes, properties, and protected conservations without proper justifications. I appreciate your recommendations to GDOT as stated in your resolution today. Your ongoing support for agricultural preservation as well as investigating solutions within the city limits. Given the stated justification for the bypass, it is difficult to understand why new neighborhoods are being approved within Watkinsville city limits at this time as well. Many are concerned about losing productive serene farmland and seeing it replaced with dense development when similar environments already exist nearby. Commissioners, and I'm asking you from the heart, please stand with the families who've tended this land for generations, who've poured their lives into these fields, these homes, and this community. Stand with the people who will feel every consequence of this project, not on paper, but the soil beneath their feet and the memories rooted in their homes. We need you to choose responsibility over haste, truth over convenience, and protection over irreversible harm. Join us in defending these farmlands, the wildlife, and the legacy that makes South Oconee County worth fighting for. And insist that this project be rethought before something precious is lost forever. Thank you.
Representative.
Good evening, Commission. Adjust that. I asked for a few minutes to speak tonight because for those who don't know me, I'm Eric Gessler, I'm the state representative for District 121. The proposed project, all three routes are squarely within District 121, so I've taken an interest. In my short time as in this office, I've learned that I can call a lot of government offices and get a call back. So I've taken it upon myself to do that, and I did have a couple of meetings last week with employees of GDOT, including the Director of Program Delivery and the District 1 engineer for GDOT District 1. Just have a conversation and understand a little better where they are. They both made it very clear to me that they're very much in the alignment phase of this project. And for those of you who are learning like me, alignment means they're trying to find something that's going to make the most sense for everyone involved. So they have funding up to the concept phase. There is funding available for right-of-way, which is, property purchase once they get to that alignment. I did not get the sense speaking to them that they feel like they are at that alignment yet. And I gave them, none of them were actually present in the open house here a few weeks ago. And so I let them know that there's significant community pushback here. Sorry, I made my comments before I read the resolution, so I need to change a little bit on the fly here. So they're very much looking forward for that alignment. I've heard from constituents of all of ours over the last few weeks. Clearly, there's a need to address traffic in Watkinsville. Anybody that's driven through at rush hour knows that. There are very valid questions, and I think you're going to hear about it tonight, about whether the current proposals will actually resolve those concerns or the traffic congestion. There's strong concerns from property owners such as, Mr. Bell you just heard from, and others about the destruction of small family farmland that has been held for generations. I myself am not a native Oconee County citizen, and I don't have any farmland. I don't have any land in danger here, but as an Oconee County resident, I can fully appreciate what we have in this county is very special. There are not many places left that have actual working small family farms anymore, and we need to take it very seriously to try to protect that. And there are, of course, concerns that these proposals will upend the Oconee comprehensive plan that we just mentioned, that is mentioned in the resolution. The inland port opened recently. That could provide some traffic congestion relief. Yes, I really have to change this part. I've read the resolution. I have to say I'm in favor of it. I was going to ask that whatever the resolution might say would keep the door open to working with GDOT and trying to find a better solution. Because the truth is that this traffic is going to keep coming. The inland port might help, but there are routes that come through the county, and traffic is only going to increase in the years to come. So something does need to be done. And I think that the resolution that's proposed tonight, it does that well. So based on community feedback and considering that GDOT is actively looking for alignment, I did float to them, and this is just a proposal. This is nothing more than words coming out of my mouth, but I asked them to strongly reconsider the 441 bypass. In particular, there are some different options about where it might start south of Bishop, but if it were to terminate at that junction with 186 in a traffic circle, that seems like it kills two birds with one stone. And if Astondale Road combined into that, tied into that, Astondale Road could be that bypass alternative. Although when I mentioned that to them, they said that Astondale Road cannot handle the truck traffic today. It would have to be rebuilt, but that's better than building a new road through somebody's farmland. I also asked them when I was on the phone with them to look at improvements in signal timing in Watkinsville to see if something could be done quicker. And actually, I kind of copied and pasted this and skimmed through it. I got a response today, and then I had to go places. But I got this response from a signal engineer who's already been to Watkinsville. He says that he's made some adjustments to the PM peak plan, which runs from 1:30 to 6:30 p.m. due to the nature of the traffic in this area, and especially with big trucks as well. As of 4:30, you're traveling from Barnett Shoals towards 53 northbound direction. You'll get through the system as long as you're in the front to middle of the queue. Going the opposite direction, southbound, you will have one stop at either Simonton Bridge or Barnett Shoals. If you stop at Simonton Bridge, you will get through Barnett Shoals on the next green without having to stop, as long as we do not have any pedestrians and we do not cover the pedestrian timing of these intersections. I will be working on the AM and watching this corridor throughout the week, and we'll let you know of any additional changes that are made. The midday plan looks good and did not seem to need any changes at this time, but I will keep it on the radar and watch as well throughout the week. Please let me know if you have any questions. So I just wanted to share that with the commission and the citizens gathered tonight. And I do have another engagement in 20 minutes, so I'm going to have to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Drew Kurtz, 5521 Price Mill Road, Mayor Bishop. I want to thank you all for this. As long as I've been watching what you're doing here in the county, you're thoughtful, you do your research. I think everybody on the south side of the county is worried about what's going to happen here. The best thing we can do, I think, for Bishop and Watkinsville is to find one plan that we consider what we're going to do with both 441 and 15 at the same time. Because if we upset a lot of people taking over farmland now, we're going to upset them again in 2 more years and no one's going to be happy. So I want to say thank you for this and keep up the good work.
So y'all, thank you too, because it affects us a whole lot. Me and my husband, we're getting ready to retire, both of us. And so this helps us a lot because ours was option 1 and it would have been less than 150 feet from our home. So thank you.
Hello. I'm short, so I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. I appreciate y'all letting us come and talk to you. I'm sure you'll hear a lot of the same things, but it means a lot for us to have the opportunity to say it out loud. So thank you. My name is Katie Wilkes. I live on 1311 Green Ferry Road. I've been a resident of Oconee County for 20 years. I wasn't born here. I'm a Florida import, but I married into the Wilkes family. I never imagined that when I married into that family, I'd also be marrying into a way of life rooted so deeply in the land. This land in South Oconee, as y'all know, it tells a story of generations of hard work and sacrifice. I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up in a regular little house. My dad was in advertising. My mom was a secretary. So we didn't even raise plants. We didn't garden. Nothing. So I was clueless. But I'm proud to be associated with this land and this family. I'm a nurse. I work as a hospice nurse, so I'm comfortable dealing with blood and guts and pee and poop and emotions and things like that. But I've learned to embrace what it means to be part of a farming family, and I wanted to share that with you tonight. On this land, I've learned how to raise chickens and pigs and cows. I've even learned to grow vegetables, sort of almost edible. My children and their friends, and even the local high school baseball team has come over to my father-in-law's property, and they've enjoyed the benefits of that land. Fishing, hunting, exposure to farm life, caring for animals in the soil, and seeing the fruits of both. Lessons have been learned on this land. My children have put their dreams of a future in farming in this land. My son took his high school graduation money and bought cows because he wanted to start his own brand of cattle on this land. And now to hear that something like a highway could cut through it. It's hard to put into words what that means. Because this land isn't just about acres or property lines. It's about heritage and identity. It's about my husband's grandfather who worked behind a mule on this land. It's about his son and his grandsons who worked to raise turkeys and chickens and cows and pigs and everything else under the sun. Granddaddy sometimes worked for years just to break even. That's what the land means. And now it's about a future that feels uncertain. If there's one thing I've learned from being part of this family, it's strength. The kind that speaks up and fights for what matters. And that's why I felt like it was important just to come say these things out loud to you. And I appreciate the resolution you passed before, or you suggested before. So I'm proud to stand here in front of you and speak for the preservation of our family. For the preservation of our family legacy, for the hope to continue that legacy into the next generation. The idea that it could just be taken and divided and paved over, it doesn't just hurt, it's personal. It feels like someone's trying to erase a story that deserves to be told. My children should be able to write their own story. Please let the Department of Transportation know that you can't draw a line through something like this and expect it not to matter. I implore you, truly, please let the Department of Transportation know that a bypass through farmland is not possible in this county. Thank you.
Afternoon, y'all. I had not planned on speaking. My name is Caitlin Keel. I live at 2160 Salem Road. I have only been in this county for 5 years, but I know this family well. And I want to piggyback a little bit off what she said. Not only am I a first generation female farmer, but my husband, or my fiance, excuse me, also farms. We run livestock. But what I want to bring to your attention is that this county was once founded in agricultural roots. And I sat down with our local farm bureau the other day, and I am one of the last young farmers and ranchers in this county. I aged out at 36 a few weeks ago. Between the ages of 18 and 35, we have currently no more legacy in this county. But what you see in this room, sitting right here, Chairman, that you asked to sit down over here, you have families that are raising these next generations. And if we don't have anything left for them, we are losing soul in this county. We are losing heart, and we are losing passion. And I appreciate what y'all have done in putting this resolution to the table, because I am, for one, believe it needs to stay. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Robin Red. I live at 2850 Salem Road. Not a farmer, but I moved there because of the farmland. I moved to this area in this county for 2 reasons: the school system and the farmland. We don't want to become Gwinnett County. I'm really disheartened at all of the trees I'm seeing coming down, the clear cutting around the interstates. I understand the traffic issue. I sit at Shops and Hops and I hear the noise. I did sit there and do my own traffic study the other night, and I noticed that most of the loud noise is from pickup trucks, actually not from the tractor trailers. There's quite a bit of traffic, but a lot of it's just us moving through the community. And while I understand that there may be a solution that we need to find, the farmland's not the answer. And I do kind of feel like, without creating any kind of opposition here, that the city of Watkinsville has embraced Wire Park and all of that development. So it puzzles me a little bit that we're just now considering the impact. I don't think it's all from the big trucks. And from what GDOT told me, if it's a publicly funded road, you can't force traffic to change. So even if we put something else in, it doesn't mean that they'll use it. I don't know how long it would even take to put a new pathway in, but behavior modification is not easy. As an educator, I can attest to that. But just please preserve what we have left here. It's shrinking. The zoning changes are happening faster than I'm comfortable with. And while I know people have a right to buy land and to do what they want to do on it, there's no guarantee of a zoning change. I would just respectfully request that you hold a little stronger on these zoning changes. We've had enough recently that if congestion's a problem, we shouldn't be increasing density on property. Thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate your time.
Hi, I'm Diane Border. I live at 4564 Greensboro Highway. Like several of the farmers that have already spoken, I wasn't necessarily planning to speak tonight. But in addition to being a landowner, I am not an active farmer, which is probably good for agriculture. But I cherish my 5 acres, and I cherish and support in many ways the local farmers in this county. Clearly, the immediate impact would be on affected farms, and I can appreciate their sentiments. My concern as a former land planner in another state, and previously in this county serving on the Land Use and Transportation Committee, is that in my experience and observation, a bypass, a major thoroughfare, inevitably, eventually, maybe not immediately, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years, will foster commercial development. And that in the long run would absolutely devastate the nature and the character of all residents in South Oconee, not just the farmers. Thank you for the resolution. I completely endorse it, and I appreciate your due diligence. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Clara Wilkes. I live at 1311 Green Ferry Road. I'm one of the Wilkes that everybody keeps talking about. I'm a little nervous, so a little shaky. The proposed bypass in Watkinsville isn't just lines on a map to my family. It's a threat to a place that has shaped generations of our lives. 2 of the proposed routes cut directly through our 150 acres, land that holds the memories of my childhood and the childhoods of my brother and cousins. Days spent exploring, learning, and growing in a way that only that kind of open, untouched space allows. My family has deep roots in Oconee County and Watkinsville, going back more than 9 generations. My brother and I specifically are the 5th generation to live in my home. The Wilkes name itself stretches back 9 generations here, and through other branches of my family, our ties to this land run even deeper. The farmland was first established by Betty and E.M. Wilkes, whose hard work and dedication built the foundation that the following generations have continued today. Cutting a bypass through this property wouldn't just divide land, it would cut directly through their legacy and everything they worked so hard to create for future generations. If this plan moves forward, it won't just take land, it will take away the chance for mine, my brothers, and cousins' future families to experience anything close to the life we were lucky enough to have. Beyond the personal loss, the proposal also feels deeply impractical. Cutting through established family land would disrupt homes, wildlife habitats, natural landscapes, while requiring costly land acquisition, relocation, and ongoing maintenance. To add, my family strongly relies on farming income we always have worked for on this land. By building this bypass through our farmland, it will substantially be taking away income of my family. All of this risks solving one problem while creating many more for families like mine and for the community as a whole. What stands to be lost can't be replaced or recreated somewhere else. It's not just property, it's our history, our roots, and a way of life that deserves to be protected. We appreciate any help that you can provide to us to help save this heritage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Nathan Bressler. In about a week and a half, we'll be at 4031 Colon Ferry Road. I, like many others, had not intended on speaking tonight. I've been lucky enough that for the last 12 years, I married into the Bell family. I'm married to Ashley. As I sit here and watch her in tears over a line on a map that cuts through land that her father has spent his entire life trying to rebuild, because that's the legacy of this place. I pulled my wife away from Oconee County 6 years ago for work. Here in a week and a half, I get to bring my family here. I get to raise my daughters here. And just in time for a line on a map to erase the place that I have desperately wanted to bring my family back to. So thank y'all. I'm apologizing now. I'm emotional about this. This amendment does a lot. The resolution y'all have put in place is incredible. And just thank you for the consideration.
right, guys, how are y'all this evening? As nervous as me, I bet. No. Brandon Wilkes, 1311 Green Ferry Road. I'm not a speaker. I can meet with you. I can talk to you. Behind the scenes, that's easy. You've heard my wife. You've heard my daughter. I tell my kids to fight for what you believe in. Stand up, let your voice be heard. So as we're getting ready for this meeting, my wife asked me, are you going to speak? And I said, no, I'm not. I would rather be behind the scenes talking to you individually. I started thinking about this. You know, what is this teaching my kids? Do you stand up and be heard, or do you say it and sit down? You know what I mean? So I look back at, and as I thought about this, most of my young adult life, I tried to run from this farm. No matter how hard I ran, it pulled me back. Not because I couldn't do anything else, not because I wasn't smart enough to do anything else, but because this is it's in me. The passion is in me. The desire to farm, to carry on a legacy is in me. Y'all got a tough decision. Y'all had a tough decision. Y'all heard a lot from both sides. Thank y'all for the resolution that y'all are letting us talk about. Thanks for hearing us. And thanks for giving us this opportunity to continue what we're trying to do as a family, as a community. We appreciate that. Thank y'all.
Anyone else wish to speak? With that, we'll go ahead and close public comments. I believe we're ready for a motion. Sure. We'll reopen public comments right quick.
My name is Mallory Moy. I live at 1121 Ivywood Drive. I used to live on Collin Ferry Road for about 5 years with my family. I just wanted to speak as someone who no longer lives on Collin Ferry Road. I'm not going to be immediately impacted by this, but obviously I am invested in the future of this county. And I think it's really important that we speak up for our neighbors. And I'm never going to be on the Wilkes farm, although I hope maybe they'll invite me now and my family. It sounds beautiful, but I do think that it's worth standing up and speaking like the gentleman in front of me just said. I regret that I didn't pay attention to some other changes that were happening in the county until it affected me personally. And if we don't pay attention, then things are taken from us and we can never get them back. So I just wanted to speak up for these folks. I wanted other people in the county who are not just directly impacted to know that this is important, that we all pay attention to what's happening, and that, yeah, just because I'm not a farmer, I don't live on Collin Ferry anymore, it's going to impact me and my family and our quality of life. And so thank y'all for what you're doing. I do think the resolutions seem very practical and they make a lot of sense, and I hope that they listen to them. So thank you.
Last call. All right. I think we're ready for a motion on the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the Oconee County Commissioners to Georgia Department of Transportation concerning the Watkinsville bypass.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. This will be transmitted to Department of Transportation in the morning. Does any commissioner wish any item to be removed from the consent agenda?
No, sir.
We'll entertain a motion for approval.
Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda with the addition of number 12 as submitted.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do have need of executive session, discussed land, personnel, and litigation.
Make a motion to adjourn to executive session for land, personnel, and last litigation.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Second.
We have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Saxon,
Motion adjourned.
Second.
we're adjourned.